Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine and studying well the taught lessons for your forthcoming unit tests. Let us recapitulate the lessons of electrostatics which I have taught through the video lectures earlier. These topics are Coulomb's law, superposition principle, electric potential, and capacitance. In this lecture, we shall revise two topics, Coulomb's law and superposition principle. We shall start revision with the first topic, that is Coulomb's law. We shall discuss all the important points about the Coulomb's law. Students, in the first lecture, already we have discussed that Coulomb's law is a quantitative statement about force of interaction between 2-point charges at rest. Suppose I have taken the Q1 and Q2 are the 2-point charges, and these two charges are separated by a distance r in vacuum. Then the force of interaction between these two charges will be represented by the relation F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. How? Because this force, or force means force of interaction between 2-point charges, is directly proportional to product of magnitude of charges and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So this equation gives the magnitude of the force of interaction between 2-point charges. We know that force is a vector quantity, so we are supposed to write this force in terms of the vector form also. So here, if vector is in the vector form, this equation becomes K Q1 Q2 by R square, and direction of this here. Direction is the R cap you mentioned. So this unit vector will give the direction of vector F, or this equation can also be written as K Q1 Q2 by R Q vector R. How it becomes? Because unit vector R is equal to vector divided by its magnitude. So you put the value over here, equation becomes the vector F is equal to K Q1 Q2 R Q and R. This is general form. But suppose this Q1 Q2, whether it is the positive or negative, anyone we have mentioned over here, when Q1 and Q2 have the same sign, either positive or negative, then how can write the separate force on one charge by the other? Follow this formula. Here Q1 and Q2, two charges are separated by a distance r. F12 is force on charge Q1 by Q2. F21 is force on charge Q2 by Q1. And here R12, this unit vector will represent the direction of force F21, and R21, this unit vector will represent the direction of vector F12. So any one equation you can write. Here I have written F21. F21 means force on charge Q2 by Q1. So what? K Q1 Q2 by R square unit vector. So direction of F21 will be represented by R12. So here I have written R12 and mentioned over here. F21 is in the direction of R12. It means R12 will give the direction of force F21. Similarly, we can write F12 also. Here it becomes for the force on charge Q1 by Q2. If you write F12, K Q1 Q2 by R square as it is, only this will be changed by R21. It's the unit vector. So this equation help you in solving the numerical problem to mark the directions. Very, very important that. Now what about this K? K is a constant, we know. But the value of K depends upon the nature of the medium and the choice of the unit of the charge. So here I have mentioned the constant K is matter of choice of the unit of charge. In a SI unit, the unit of charge is what? Coulomb. So approximate value of K is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. So this is the formula of the Coulomb's law, and with the help of this formula you can solve the numericals. Now one important point about the Coulomb's law. Student, this Coulomb's law obey inverse square law. And Newton's law of gravitation also obey the inverse square law. So how are these two related with each other? So here make a note. Coulomb force and gravitational force follow the same inverse square law, but gravitational force is only attractive while Coulomb force is both attractive and repulsive, because it is true for both charges, positive as well as negative. So Coulomb force is both attractive and negative. Result is allowing possibility of cancellation of electric force. In this case, the Coulomb force can be 0 also, net force can be 0 in some cases. So what will be the ratio of the electric force and the gravitational force? Few ratio I have noted down over here. The ratio of Fe by Fg means Fe stands for the Coulomb force or electric force and Fg stands for the gravitational force. So Fe by Fg is 0 for neutron-neutron pair. It is calculated. And this Fe by Fg, this ratio is 10 to the power 36 for proton-proton pair. And other one, this ratio Fe by Fg is 10 to the power 39 for electron-proton pair. And similarly, the Fe by Fg is, this ratio will be 10 to the power 43 for electron-electron pair. So these are the few important points. Now we'll check see the significance of the Coulomb's. Here are few points about significance of the Coulomb's law. I have mentioned 3 points. One by one I shall read out all these 3 points. First point about the significance of Coulomb's law. This law tells us about the forces which bind the electrons to the nucleus to form an atom. When atom is formed, how the electrons are bound to the nucleus, it is being explained by this law. Second point, it further tells about the electric forces which unite the atoms to form the molecule. It means in the formation of molecule, this electric force helps to unite the atoms. And third point also, it also tells us about the electric forces which bind the molecules to form solids and liquids. So in the formation of solid, in formation of liquid, the molecules will be bounded with the help of the electric force. So these are the 3 important points regarding the significance of the Coulomb's law. Now we shall see few sample problems on the Coulomb's law, numerical problem. Now we shall see some sample numericals on the Coulomb's law. First question I have written over here. An electron is moving round the nucleus of a hydrogen atom in a circular orbit of radius r. The Coulomb force F between 2 is, we have the 4 answers given, and out of these 4 answers we have to tick mark the correct answer. So which one the correct answer we'll find out, although it is marked, tick mark in the C. So the C answer is correct. How we'll find out this? Look at over here, Coulomb force F is written in the vector. So this in the vector form we have to find the force between the electron and the nucleus of hydrogen atom. Write directly the formula of force in the vector form here. We know that F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by RQ and R vector. This is the final formula, already we have discussed earlier. And now in this formula, put the values. Q1, Q2 are already here. So K as it is, at the place of Q1, charge on electron, here the minus C. At the place of Q2, charge on the nucleus, one the positive charge, so I will get the plus C. And this RQ and the vector R. So solve it. Minus will out, minus K E into E square by RQ and vector R. This is the answer of this question. So find the answer in this one. This answer is C over here. Already I marked earlier. So answer C is correct. So this way we have got the Coulomb force F between the electron and the hydrogen atom. One more question, question number 2. This question is different than the question number 1. This question I have taken of the differentiation question. Question says a certain charge Q is first divided into two parts, small q and a small q dash. Later on, the charges are placed at a certain distance d. If the force of attraction between two charges is maximum, then find the value of q by q dash. And the 4 answers are given by q by q dash. This q and q dash are the charges when it is divided in capital Q. Answer is 2, 1, 4, 3. 4 answers are given. Already answer 1 is given. I have tick mark. How this one answer will come, we will find out. Here is the solution. According to question, Q is divided in Q and Q dash. It means Q plus Q dash is equal to Q. Here written Q plus Q dash is equal to Q. Solve it. Therefore, Q dash is equal to how much? Q minus Q. Capital Q minus small q. What is the formula for the force? F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. So K at the place of Q1 Q, at the place of Q2 D minus Q. This is the second charge and this is the first charge. So at the place of Q, at the place of Q dash, Q minus Q, and distance between them is D square. This equation first will give the force between the two charges. Now, when the force will be maximum, it can be calculated when differentiate this with respect to Q. So, force to be maximum when df by dq is equal to 0. The force to be maximum, differentiation of this force with respect to this charge Q will be 0. So, difference this d by dq at the place of force, we will write the equation number 1, K Q minus Q d square, and this is equal to 0. So, solve it. K by d square will be taken out. It is constant both. So d by dq, q into q and q into q square. This will be differentiated. This is equal to 0 because this will be constant. This will not be differentiated. So when differentiated, this one. So q, this is here q capital Q because this is 1, and this 2 into q. 2 into q is equal to 0. So q minus 2q is equal to 0 after differentiation. So small q is equal to capital Q by 2. So one part answer we have got the small q is equal to capital Q by 2 and q plus q dash is equal to capital Q. So capital Q also is equal to Q by 2 because put the value over here at the place of Q, this Q by 2. So this Q dash become again how much? Q by 2. So both the charges when Q is divided into two parts, Q and Q dash both have become Q is equal to Q by 2 and Q dash also equal to Q by 2. Question is, what is the value of Q by Q dash? Q by Q dash is equal to how much? Divide both. Q by Q dash. So Q by 2, Q dash, Q by 2. Both will cancel, becomes how much? 1. So 1 will be the answer of this. Where is the 1? B. Correct answer. It is already tick mark. So B is the answer of this question. Students, this type of the question, please solve as many as possible. I would like to suggest you solve the multiple choice test question. This will help you in your forthcoming examination. Now we shall revise the topic superposition principle. This one. Students, we have discussed earlier that the principle of superposition gives us a method to compute force on a charge when several charges are interacting. So this principle is based on the fact that forces with which two charges attract or repel each other are not affected by the presence of third or more additional charges. That is, when a number of charges are interacting with a single charge, the net force on this single charge will be the vector sum of all the forces due to each charges on that single charge. Thus, I have taken one example for an assembly of n number of charges. Suppose Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn, the force on charge Q0, suppose on charge Q0, due to all other charges, is the vector sum of the forces on this Q0 due to charge Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Q1. It means we are going to find the force on Q0 by Q1, force on Q0 by Q2, force on Q0 by Q3 and so on up to Qn. Then how can we calculate it? For each pair of the charges. For each pair, force is given by Coulomb's law of two charges, and the net force is determined by law of addition of vector. And this law of addition vector, the final formula already we know that. Applying parallelogram law, F is equal to under root, taking the net force, under root F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta. When we talk about this F1 and F2 and theta, for the charge, force on charge Q0 by Q1 and Q2, two charges I have taken. So F1 is force on Q0 by Q1, F2 is force on Q0 by Q2 and so on, and theta is angle between F1 and F2. So with the help of this formula, we can calculate the net force when the n number of charges, several charges are interacting with a single charge. One thing also, it should be noted that regarding this, the superposition principle should not be regarded as obvious or equated with law of addition of vector like this, not equated with this one. It says only two things. Both the things I mentioned. Number one, force on one charge due to another charge is unaffected by the presence of other charges. This is the first thing about the superposition principle. That if in many charges are present near the one charge, force will not be affected. And what about the second point? And the second point is here, there are no additional 3 body or 4 body etc. So forces which arise only when there are more than 2 charges. So students, in brief, this explains the superposition principle, or we can say we have discussed in brief or revised in brief the superposition principle. So on this principle, we shall see 1 or 2 sample numericals. See this first numerical. Question says 3 charges are placed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle of side A as shown. Here figure is drawn. 3 charges plus Q, minus Q and plus Q are placed on the vertex of this triangle. The force experienced by the charge at vertex A normal to BC is what? It means force experienced by this charge plus Q at the point A normal to this base BC is what? So 4 options are given. CX option C is tick mark, it means it is correct, it is given answer. We will check this that if answer is correct or not. So we shall solve this problem first. So here I have solved the question by drawing the diagram of the different forces. Here I have taken FAC, force on charge at A by force on charge at C, because both the charges are positive, so it will repel each other, so direction will outward. Force on A, force on charge at A by force on charge at C will outside, outward, FAC. Again here at this point, force on charge at A by the force on charge at B, which is minus, so both will attract each other. So direction this force will be inward towards B. So FAB will give the value of force on charge at A by force on charge at B. Both these forces FAC and FAB are in different direction. They are inclined at some angle. Angle I have marked 120 degree because this triangle is the equilateral triangle. So this angle is 120 degree. So what is the net force of these two? Net force will be this force FA, suppose I have taken. FA is the net force, resultant force of FAC and FAB. How this magnitude will be calculated? By the parallelogram law. FA is suppose magnitude of this is equal to under root FAC square plus FAB square plus 2 FAC FAB cos 120 degree. By putting in this formula the value of FAC and FAB, will get the result. Here I have written magnitude of FAB, the force, and FAC will be the same. F I have mentioned. Why same? Because this triangle is equilateral triangle, sides are the same, and the charge is also the same. So whatever the value of FAC and FAB will be the same. I have taken F suppose. So put this value of F in this equation at the place of here. FAC, FAB is again plus 2, F cos 120 degrees minus 1 by 2. And when we shall solve this, we will get the same result F. So what is the direction of this force? Direction of this force will be parallel to CB. FA will be parallel to CB here. But what the question says, you have to find the force on a normal to base BC. So FA is parallel to CB. Its component normal to BC is what? Of course it is 0. So normal component of FA, normal component to BC of the force FA will be 0 because FA is parallel to C. So if answer is C, so C answer is correct. See the second question. A charge Q is placed at each opposite corners of a square of side A. Here it is shown. A charge minus Q is placed at each other corners, is also shown. If the net force on Q is 0, then the value of Q by Q is what? So 4 options is given. So answer A is correct. Correct. It is tick mark. So we'll check that how it is correct. So see this square of side A. Minus Q are at the corners A and C, and plus Q are at corners B and D. We have to find the net force at suppose at the charge Q at point B. How can we find? So find the force at charge Q at point B by the force at charge C, this minus Q, and by the force at charge A, this minus Q, one by one. So both the force will be attractive, this one. A and B are also attractive, and B and C also attractive. Let F1 is the force on B due to charge at F1. So you have calculated the F1 by the Coulomb's law. And F2 is force on B due to charge at the C minus Q. You have taken the F2. Again, according to Coulomb's law, I have put the values because this is the charge is Q, this is Q, and distance is A. So this F1 have to give the force on B due to charge at A and charge at C. Directions are already marked. So these two forces are inclined at the angle of 90 degrees. So F12 is the resultant of F1 and F2. So F12 is what? F12 is following parallelogram law, F1 square F2 square 2 F1 F2 cos 90 degree. So it becomes 0. So F1 square plus F2 square. Now put here the value of F1 F2. F1 is here, F2 is here, and solve it. So here I have put F12, net F12 the magnitude of this force. Putting the values of F1 and F2 here, the on simplification you shall get this result. So this equation 1 gives the F12 resultant of F1 and F2 directions towards D. Now what is the force on B due to charge at D? This is positive, this is positive, it will go outside. So FBD. So FBD again I have taken FBD following Coulomb's law, K Q1 Q2 R square. Again the Q1 Q, this Q, Q, and this distance BD is here under root 2, under 2 square. So this BD is equal to KQ square by 2s. Equation 2 gives the magnitude of BD and the force on B due to charge at D. We have to find the force on Q is 0, then when it is possible. At this point, net force on charge Q at B is 0. It can only be possible then FBD and F12 are equal and opposite. So here F12 and FBD are equal. So put their values. F12 is here from the equation number 1. FBD is here from equation number 2. When put the value and solve it. On simplification after solving it, I sure that you can solve it. We'll get the result finally Q by Q. Capital Q by small q is equal to 2 under root 2. This is the Q by Q. But on this minus Q, this charge, Q is negative. A small q is negative. At the point A and point C, this q is a negative. So a small q is negative. So q by q, the value is minus 2 under root 2. And minus 2 under root 2 is the option number 1. So its option number 1 is correct. So this type of numerical also is supposed to solve. So I would like to suggest you solve the multiple choice test questions as many as possible.